Welcome back. Back at the Cruise Dynasty podcast. We talking football. We talking fantasy football, but we're going to do something a little bit different today on this episode. First of all, go add the podcast. Hit that add button. Subscribe. 5-star review. Do it. We going to talk about 2023 guys. And I got my guy, Jordan Phillips, back in the building to talk 2023. What's up?
Nothing much. What up, Matt? What up?
Man, this is just what we do. We talk all football. So we
all football. It don't matter.
Yep, don't even matter. We got to know what's happening in 2023. You know, some people ain't competing in fantasy this year. There's some people competing, but there's some people building. We need to know what players are we trying to look for.
We got a little bit of both. I mean, some of my leagues I'm building, some of them I'm set.
Doing a little bit of everything. So we're going to take a look at these 2023 guys. Just a brief overview. I know I haven't dug in totally deep on all of them, but definitely watch some. You know how it is down here in the South. All we do is watch college football.
College football's life down here.
College football is king. But we definitely going to talk about some of these top guys and mainly quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. I'm sure there's some tight ends you might want to sneak in.
There's definitely one or two up there
worth talking about. So, let's just say you're not competing, you're tanking, you're in your rookie draft. What player are you thinking? As of now, would be the first player probably off a rookie draft board.
First player, as of right now, especially for offense, I'm probably going to go C.J. Stroud.
So we're talking like a super flex league, 2 quarterbacks.
I'll take him.
You're taking a quarterback.
I'll take super flex. I'll take him in just regular.
You would take him in a 1 quarterback, like something like that.
C.J. Stroud is, especially if you already have a decent quarterback on roster. C.J. Stroud is.
The upside is there.
Upside is there. The size is there. The upside's there. He knows how to throw the ball because Ohio State throws the ball.
They throw the rock
90% of the time.
He does play with a lot of good guys, though. What if they're making him?
I would say, if it's not C.J. Stroud, probably going to be Jackson Smith-Njigba or one of my receivers that I'm high on, Kayshon Boutte.
Yep, out of LSU. So, all right, well, yeah, I like C.J. Stroud. I'm high on him. I think I would have him 2 behind Bryce Young. I know you feel a little differently about that. I feel a little bit different.
Bryce Young is a little small right now, so a lot of teams may look at that and be like, he needs to put on maybe 10 to 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Because he's like 6'1", 194 is what he's listed at right now. So
yeah,
maybe if he goes to 204, 214 around that size, that seems like it'll be all right.
Let's see. According to... Because what I'm looking at is NFL Draft Buzz breaks it down. They say position rank. They got Bryce Young number 1, C.J. Stroud number 2. I'm a Bryce Young guy. To the end, this dude is my guy. I'm thinking this guy in the NFL. We're looking at the next great one, the next Aaron Rodgers. This guy throws the ball on the run better than just about anybody I've ever seen.
I think he can throw the ball. He can escape pressure really easily, but if pressure does get to him, like I thought the national championship game since I was there, once Georgia started actually getting pressure to him, he couldn't do anything. He couldn't. His throws were all over the place, a little bit everywhere.
That's true, but I feel like it's like that for any quarterback. Really.
It is, but some of the quarterbacks are a little bit better in the pocket. They'll invite the pressure, especially with the taller quarterbacks like a C.J. Stroud or someone who's like 6'3", 6'4".
He didn't have his top guys at receiver.
He had.
I mean, he's got like young talent. He had like young talent by. When did Jameson Williams get hurt? I mean, they was grooving and they was cooking
in the, I think, second quarter. Quarter, about maybe 5 minutes in, something like that.
So he was definitely playing with a lot of young guys definitely were like 5-star recruits, though, stuff like that. So it was definitely.
Well, you know, Bama always recruits
all the way. So
4 or 5-star guys.
To me, I think Bryce Young is the next one. I'd be tanking for him in the NFL. I want my Falcons to get him. That's just how I feel about this guy. I think he's easily the best player in college football. Period.
See,
he could win a national championship with a lower level team. Maybe.
Best player in the draft this year
of everybody,
probably Jalen Carter, from the defensive tackle from Georgia.
Well, I should have known you gonna talk about the Dogs.
Oh,
no.
Jalen. I've been hearing that Jalen Carter is better than Jordan Davis, and Jordan Davis was a beast.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised.
Jalen Carter's not as big, but he makes an impact.
So you would take, let's just say the Falcons theoretically, NFL draft wise, had the number 1 pick. You would take Jalen Carter.
I'm taking Jalen Carter. Beef up that defensive line a little bit more. Give Grady Jarrett some help so he's not double or triple teamed.
Well, I'm agreed with that. Well, all right. So fantasy wise, then you would take Stroud, Bryce Young, then Levis.
I'd take Van Dyke over Levis.
Van Dyke from Miami.
They got him. A sneaky little wide receiver.
Draft Buzz got him 5. They got Levis at 3. Out of Kentucky. Van Dyke 6'4", 224. Run a 4.85.
not the fastest guy, but
definitely not.
He can move around a little bit. He can throw.
At 4, they got Tanner McKee from Stanford, 6'6".
That's getting on the tall side of a quarterback.
Yeah, that's pretty tall.
6'7" is like the cutoff usually.
So you would take, all right, well, where does Spencer Rattler come into all this? Because I think if you would have asked Mel Kiper last year, this dude would have said Spencer Rattler was going to be the number 1 quarterback off the board.
I feel like Spencer Rattler this year is...
I think he had him at number 1 overall.
I have him at like 4 or 5.
Well, shoot, NFL Draft Buzz got him at 6. Got him behind a lot of guys.
I'd say 6 is...
Going to play for South Carolina this year? Ugh.
South Carolina's recruiting well. They have a nice coach who came from Kirby's system who's doing well.
This dude's getting paid $20 million at least. You don't go from Oklahoma to South Carolina. This dude's making NFL quarterback money. I'm being dead serious.
The one thing I heard about Spencer Rattler, sure, he's great on the field.
Yeah.
I hear off the field, he's a douchebag. He does not care. He is not the nicest guy off the field. He is a jerk. I hear he is a locker room cancer off the field.
Well, now he's going to Carolina. You see any success for Spencer Rattler?
I feel like on the field success he will have, but coming into that,
they're still going to be bad
with that offense, with that off the field stuff.
You think Spencer Rattler could beat Clemson?
Yeah, especially if DJ's the quarterback.
Man, hopefully that just ain't happening. Yeah, speaking of DJ, that's a guy I want to talk about. He's down here ranked 9, and this is just my gut feeling on DJ. This dude is not going to start at Clemson for the whole year, and then he's going to transfer. He's going to finish his career somewhere else. He's 9. This dude was he was the number 1 quarterback coming out. He was either number 1 or number 2.
Something like that.
Coming out. Definitely does not have good touch. Definitely, this dude throws nothing but a fastball. I mean, this dude has a cannon. The potential, the upside is for real there. I'll give him that. But he's already losing. He's already losing in camp right now to Cade Klubnik.
I still remember the first game of this season. I think it was when the first touchdown for Georgia was a pick 6 off of him.
Man, just threw the game away, man. Drives me
Christopher
insane.
Smith like a 75-yard pick 6.
Makes me sick to my stomach to this day. This dude was just bad last year. And you can't blame it on weapons and stuff like that. He was just bad. So, I don't see him. I know this list, they got him at 9. This dude's, he definitely can't go out.
He could be worse than that. He's, probably late 2nd, early 3rd round pick?
He's going to go back to the West Coast after this year. He's not going to be. But that's just my little take on him. But back up to these other guys. Would you say this? There's a clear top 2 of Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud.
Oh, yeah. Clear top 2.
Okay.
Those 2 are hands down 1-2.
In a super flex league, 2 quarterbacks. You think these guys are going 1-2?
Oh, yeah.
Think easily?
Easily.
Would you tank for one of these guys?
I probably would. Especially if...
Both of them or one of them? Just C.J. Stroud?
depending on, especially if I'm the NFL, depending on which system I run and what I like, so, it would depend. It'll depend, but my preference is probably C.J. Stroud.
Okay.
He's a little bit taller. He can see over the line a little better, so he doesn't have to scramble around as much. Because, these running quarterbacks, they don't last as long.
I feel like Bryce Young, he doesn't scramble
around too much, but...
Yeah. He says he's a pocket passer guy, and I believe it. He'd be slinging it.
He can be. He really can.
This dude can make all the throws. It does say he's at 194. 6 foot, 194. So he's probably like 5'10", 184 or something like that.
A little bit smaller.
Something like that. So, but then I would say to you, Kyler Murray, he's small like that. He's like a top 4 dynasty quarterback. Top 4, top 5.
He's up there, but he does really good. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals do really good in the beginning of the season,
but tail off
after like week 8. Where they're like 7-1, 6-2, they just lose like 4 or 5 straight games because Kyler gets hurt every year around that time.
That's true. Well, hopefully it'll be a little bit different. I'm high on Kyler Murray again this year, but
I'm kind of high on him too.
Where does Will Levis stand? Like, is this a first round QB?
I feel like he could potentially be a first round QB.
You would have him over Tanner McKee though, wouldn't you?
I don't watch a lot of Stanford, so I don't really know much.
True.
But I would have him probably I don't really watch much. I'll have to probably have him slightly over because I know him a little bit more.
I mean, I watch a lot of Miami. I haven't seen too much of Tyler Van Dyke. I know he played some.
I'm hearing a lot of hype on Tyler Van Dyke. I'm hearing a lot of hype on him.
The quarterback from Boston College, Phil
Jerkovich or whatever.
Jerkovich. I've seen him play a lot. He's just like a pocket passer.
I saw him just play last year.
Last year
when Boston College was actually good.
So Anthony Richardson, you got anything to say about him?
Oh, I feel like he could. I feel like right now he could potentially be the best quarterback in this class, with his legs and his cannon of an arm.
Draft Buzz has him at 8 right now.
He has him at 8.
6'4", 236.
I feel like he could be a really, really good. Depending on how he progresses this year, because last year he was kind of off and on with the other quarterback they had.
Yeah. What about Hendon Hooker? Where does he stand? He had a decent little year when Tennessee got their offense rolling towards the middle to the back half of the year.
They put up the most points Georgia allowed to the SEC championship game.
So I'll agree.
At 17. So I can see Hendon Hooker probably going second round for right now.
Okay, gotcha.
That's if he has to really ball out and maybe win the win the division, win the SEC East this year, maybe SEC championship game.
So I feel like we stand. We went over some of these quarterbacks, and I think our main differences. I got Bryce Young 1, C.J. Stroud 2, and you got the opposite. But with that said, we're both high on both of them.
We're both high on both.
But there's no doubt. So all right, well let's get over here because I like to talk about running backs, and I know the main name in the running back, especially around the community, is Bijan Robinson.
Bijan Robinson
from Texas.
Gotta be Bijan Robinson. If anyone else is your number 1 running back, you're wrong.
I know they got, Jahmyr Gibbs at 2.
Yeah, I think both those running backs could go in the first round.
Georgia Tech.
Well, he was at Georgia Tech.
Just transferred
to Bama.
That's crazy that man was that good. Just went to, so okay. All right, then. So, Bijan Robinson, Texas. And, everybody knows this guy. We all watched him play. Position rank, number 1. Any chance you would, let's just say you're in a 1-quarterback league. I would probably draft Bijan Robinson over a quarterback for sure. In a 1-quarterback league.
I wouldn't mind that.
What about a Superflex league? 2 quarterbacks. Any chance, or would you take the quarterback no matter what?
It depends on what I'm looking for, because every time I do a fantasy draft,
Gotta see.
I usually do run. I usually focus on running backs and tight ends because those are like the 2 premier positions. But if I have a high enough pick, 1 or 2, I'm probably gonna take the quarterback.
Okay,
because you know people that are really high on quarterbacks and they're gonna go.
Go. Yep.
They're going to go.
There's no doubt. So
they're going to be like 6 in a row.
So basically, our number one running back off the board is probably going to be Bijan Robinson. What about NFL draft-wise? First round capabilities? We looking at
first
something?
Round. Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, 2 first round.
Okay, so headed to Bama. So Jahmyr Gibbs, high on him, of course. Headed to Bama. Probably going to start the way it looks like, don't you think?
I don't see any other running back there.
So he's definitely, if you're starting with Alabama, what's there not to like? You know he's going to go out there and produce.
And
produced at Georgia Tech.
All you need is 1 year. Bama, all you need is 1 year.
Is Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs in the different tiers, or are they tier 1?
I feel like they're slightly different. I have Bijan.
He's in a tier of his own.
Yeah, he's a tier of his own for this draft.
Okay.
He's hands down 1. I think if you look at the rankings, they have him almost like graded 2 points higher, which is quite a big gap.
Yeah, that is a big gap. Agreed. Well, at number 3, let's see, Zach Evans, TCU, 212, 5'11".
Seems like he'll be a thumper to me. Just
yeah,
good because he's what he's a little bit smaller than Tyler Algier, who I'm pretty high on in this year's rookie drafts and stuff.
Yeah.
I say Tyler Algier drops at 215, 212. I would love that because he still has that low frame, but he's 224, which I think is a little heavy. But.
So immediately I see Tank Bigsby at 6.
Tank Bigsby can be a good running back.
That's what I'm thinking. Out of Auburn, 208 pounds, 6 foot. So
he can be a good running back. Sure, he had an off year last year. I don't know what was wrong with him. He didn't seem to want to run.
Yeah.
The ball.
You definitely got to keep an eye on these running backs because running backs, a lot of these guys will definitely find jobs and get play time. It's definitely good to, even if these guys are like backup running backs in the NFL, they're valuable to have. That's why you got to pay attention to some of these guys.
One of the running backs I'm real high on is the number 12 running back, Kendall Milton.
Man, I see him. I was going to ask you about him, ranked outside the top 10. I know he's a Georgia guy, so I know you're high on him. There ain't no doubt about him. But where would you rank him realistically? Where would you put him?
I'd say if he stays healthy, because he was hurt last year.
Yeah.
But I've been hearing, I heard it around on social media and stuff from like people inside the Georgia organization or people talking inside the Georgia organization that he was the best running back in the room last year.
So, and that running back room was stacked. They already had James Cook,
Zamir White, Kenny McIntosh.
I think Zamir White's a sneaky stash.
He's easily a sneaky stash.
With Las Vegas. I'm kind of high on him. I'm ready to see it. I think that one's going to pay off, not next year, but the year after.
I'm high on James Cook as well.
Man, I think Buffalo. I don't know, man. I'm a little bit less higher on him. I just think Josh Allen just does it all. He runs the ball. He does it all, really. He'll throw it too, but I was
going to say, why run the ball if you have a little back? He could just
I don't know. I think they reached for him too. I would have taken a few other running backs before James Cook.
I feel like James Cook was the running back 4 last year.
Who'd you have at 3?
Let's see, who was there?
I still think 4 was like a little high. Like I would have taken Isaiah Spiller over James Cook.
I think Spiller was my 3. Either Spiller or Williams.
So, you know anything about Devon Achane, Texas A&M? He was just under Isaiah Spiller.
Let's see.
A lot of these guys. Another notable good name is Eric Gray out of Oklahoma. 206, 5'9", 444.
444.
444, 40.
So I'm looking at it. I look at everybody. I try to figure out everyone out. Try to figure everyone out.
A couple of aces, a few SEC guys I see.
Well, SEC's a running conference.
Chris Rodriguez Jr. from Kentucky's on this list at number 9. So, you know how it is.
You're
just going to have to pay attention to these guys. Let's just move on over to some wide receivers.
The wide receivers. You have the easy top 3.
Go ahead. Name them all off.
With Jackson Smith-Njigba, JSN. Kayshon Boutte, and Jordan Addison. Those are your easy top 3.
Jordan Addison just transferred.
Yeah, he went from Pitt to USC. So he was just playing with Small Hands Pickett.
Yep, and now he's about to play with Lincoln Riley
and Caleb Williams.
So USC is definitely trying to get them a little offense rolling. Definitely probably pay Jordan Addison. Jackson Smith. Njigba. So the number 1 guy, that you got somebody else at number 1. This is the guy I hear most at number 1. I heard he was the most talented at Ohio State.
I hear the same thing, but I felt like
who just put 2 wide receivers in the top 11 or so in the NFL draft. So,
but my top wide receiver is Kayshon Boutte. Sure, he's not on LSU. Hasn't been done as much as Ohio State did.
Yeah,
but he has put up
190, 6 foot.
He has put
440.
He has put up numbers.
Ranked number 2.
I say he played 6 games last year. He had 37 catches for 503 yards in 6 games.
So he needs to have a better year. Maybe their offense could get a little clicking.
Because he got hurt. He
needs to stay healthy.
If he was healthy, he could have. Since 6 games is halfway through the season, he could have had over 1,000 yards and maybe 12 touchdowns if he stayed healthy throughout the whole season.
And who's quarterbacking down there in LSU?
No clue.
Well, now they got old Kelly down there coaching from Notre Dame. So maybe their offense will get a little...
Going down there dancing with the recruits.
Man, I don't even know hey, LSU, I don't even know if that was a good hire. Maybe it was. I mean, he's a decent coach.
He's a winning coach. He wins.
But, yeah, that's true. So,
but also, he's in Notre Dame, and who knows how.
So, would you say Boutte, Njigba,
and Addison?
Addison, would you say that's a tier 1?
I feel like that's easily tier 1.
Okay. Marvin Mims, Oklahoma. We've watched a lot of him over the years.
I've watched a little bit of him,
Definitely can play.
I try to watch as much as I can, but every time I'm at home, somebody wants to come out and change the channel back to an SEC game or a big game, so I can't watch everybody.
Yeah, I heard that. Heck, I watch ACC play a lot. I see Josh Downs right here, wide receiver, North Carolina, ranked number 5. 180, 5'10". I see a couple dogs on here. I know you want to talk about Jermaine Burton.
Jermaine Burton, I do like, especially because they haven't updated it here yet because he's not at Georgia anymore.
Where's he at?
He's at Bama.
That just happened, right?
It happened a while ago. They just haven't updated it.
Okay.
But he's gonna be the wide receiver 1 at Bama. He's a really good receiver. I was surprised that Georgia got rid of him. I'm surprised that he left Georgia because he was the.
Wasn't he unhappy about something?
I don't know. I don't know what he has to be unhappy about. He was like the wide receiver 2.
I think he wanted to play for what you call it.
He may have been unhappy that Stetson came back.
Yeah, something like that. Instead of JT Daniels. Anyways, now he's over at Bama. Any potential for him? He's ranked number 6 here. High potential.
I feel like he's going to be Bama's number 1 receiver.
The other guy, Georgia, didn't play last year, academic reasons.
Eric Gilbert.
This says he's 248, 6'5".
I watched him during the little G-Day game, the spring game.
Looks good.
Looks amazing.
So
he's so much bigger than everyone else on the field. I remember seeing one highlight of him where they threw it to him in the end zone. He was double covered.
Yeah.
Somebody came in to lay him out.
Yeah.
He stayed on his feet. The person that came in to hit him got laid out. And he didn't even move.
I mean, it's 6'5", 248.
They have him listed as wide receiver, but I think he's gonna.
Be a
tight end. That tight end where he's gonna probably do what Brock Bowers does as well. Be that tight end / receiver.
Well, look, rounding off this top 12, I see Zay Flowers right there. He's a sneaky one. He's a good football player. I'm kind of surprised he's that low. But he's pretty good.
He's fast. I see that.
So, man, hey, go ahead and give me some tight ends. Give me some names. Just give me a couple of them that are even worth talking about.
I'll say the really one big one for tight end Notre Dame tight end Michael Mayer.
I see.
People are saying he's just mini Gronk.
Mini Gronk. It says he's 251, 6'4", number 1 overall tight end out of Notre Dame. Yep. Okay, well, I see it. 90.9. So he's got definitely. There's a big gap between him and everybody. And the next guy out of Iowa. And there's a tight end coming from Alabama.
There's
two of them.
Two back to back.
3 and 4. Latu and Billingsley.
Both of them actually are pretty decent tight end because they had to step up a lot in the SEC championship and national championship game because of the injuries. So they had to step up.
So it definitely sounds like the Notre Dame tight end is the guy. But what about compare him? Like, would he be up there higher than a Trey McBride?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you would take him over Trey McBride.
I think he.
Because I think Trey McBride's a little sneaky stash in fantasy leagues.
He could be a sneaky. End. I feel like Michael Mayer could be a complete tight end.
Okay.
He can block.
He's got a very high upside.
His high upside.
Clemson plays Notre Dame this year, so I'll get to look at him, test him out, see what he looks like. So, all right, well, shoot.
And then there's of course another dog, Darnell Washington, who's a big boy.
Man, just before we just get off this episode, let's just talk. What is the playoffs looking like this year for college football? Way too early predictions. What are we looking at? Predictions. Well, who are you predicting? Where are the dogs going to finish?
I think Georgia just misses out. Maybe at like 5 or 6. But yeah. I feel like it's going to be Bama, of course. I feel like Ohio State's going to be up there.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm like, maybe USC, depending on how they do.
Nah, they're not going to go to the playoffs. They're not going to jump that much. They're going to get a little better.
I'm hearing they have some playoff buzz.
Well, they are in the pack. You know, you go over there, you beat Oregon.
Go over there, beat Oregon, and beat Utah.
So, yeah. I'm just saying it now. Clemson's back. We back. Nah, I'm just kidding. But this is what
They could be if freaking DJ gets...
Since we've been out of the headlines, I think once we make the quarterback change, we'll be right back to where we need to be. We'll be
right back where you need to be.
Winning the conference, going to the playoffs. I ain't going to sit here and act like we winning it next year. I'm going to be realistic. We need a quarterback change, though. Got to beat Notre Dame this year.
Got to beat.
Not really worried about anybody else. It just, me personally, I'm worried about everybody else. I'm worried about like 3 or 4 games, but not everybody will agree with me on that. But yep, I think Clemson will be up there. I think the Dogs will be up there. The SEC East, I see them just pretty much wiping through that.
Yeah. The only game I could see them losing in the SEC East is maybe Florida, depending on how AR-15 does there.
I'm gonna give a little, because the SEC East, everybody that knows me, listen to this. I roast on that. I'll give the SEC East this. I think Tennessee will be your toughest competition this year. They're gonna get that offense rolling.
I think it's gonna be Florida.
Man, I think Florida's gonna be trash, just as always.
I'd say it really depends on how AR-15 does.
Yeah.
But
what does Oklahoma look like?
I feel like Oklahoma could be sneaky.
Sneaky.
But that Big 12
I'm definitely pulling for them.
That Big 12 is always sneaky.
Yeah. Well, shoot, man.
Heck, I think Oklahoma's biggest rival just got the biggest quarterback in the recruiting class.
Arch Manning chooses Texas. You say you're not shocked. To me, I'm a little bit surprised.
As soon as he narrowed his stats down to Texas and Georgia, I'm like, Georgia has 3 quarterbacks that he's competing with. Texas has like 1.
I was thinking he stays. I mean, I know
he's from Louisiana.
They'll be in the SEC soon. Texas will be, but I was just thinking Georgia. It just seems more of a fit. But I think he would have beat. I know the competition ain't there, but they'd be clamoring for Arch Manning's name from day one, trying to get him starting.
We should probably put rush, and then trouble happens, and you don't want to rush people in too fast because that stunts their development. So you want to get their speed.
Yeah. Well, shoot, man. This is the 2023 guys. be on the lookout for some of these guys. We went in depth. You know, all these guys aren't going to be coming out next year, right? You would say these are mostly juniors. Some of them.
Some may go back, but most of the ones we talked about are probably going to come out.
Just be on the lookout for these guys because they'll be. Because once this college football season starts, we're going to be watching these guys and we're going to be forming board opinions. Man, 3 months away, and we're talking about the 2023 guys. I like it,
3 months away until the start of the season. We got like a year until the draft comes back around.
So I like it. So, like I said, add me on Twitter at @CrewMattHamm. Jordan.
Yeah.
Where can I add you at? What's your Twitter?
Jordan 05182000. I know it's long, but you can hit me up there.
Hey, add him on Twitter.
That's all I talk about is football. That's the only reason I have Twitter is to look at football news, recruiting news, stuff like that. That's the only reason I got it.
So you'll be hearing them in a lot of episodes. Add the podcast. Spread the word.
Spread it to everyone. Family, friends, co-workers, neighbors.
5-star reviews.
Leagues, everywhere.
The whole shebang.
Everywhere.
The whole shebang. So yeah, that about wraps it up. Be on the lookout. Poor Man's Politics with P. Miller and Jordan Harris. They already stirring up the pot.
Already trying to upset people and offend people.
So, be on the lookout for other podcasts. They're in the works as we speak. The Cruise
Thanksgiving
Podcast.
dinner every day.
Yep. The Cruise Podcast Company. They bringing out. They got a new podcast on the way as we speak. Got some good things. That about sums it up.
So,
we out of here.
We out.